Howdy folks, I'm Colonel Sanders and you're not. There's a lot of chit-chat going on in the government about autism and people and children with it. I've seen a lot of my friends online start talking about this because there were comments made. Now, I don't really know much about the comments made because I have been busy with my own life doing things, but I want to talk about my autism. Many of you may know or may not know that I am autistic. I was diagnosed with severe Asperger syndrome when I was 2. Before everybody gets on me about saying the word Asperger, the term was changed for 2 reasons. One primarily was to better categorize what I have on the autism spectrum so that people with what I have, or worse, could get better treatment. The other reason they wanted to disassociate from the Austrian physician, Hans Asperger, who discovered the symptoms of what I have. But he did not coin the term. It was a British practitioner in the 1980s that coined the term. Now to move on from that, growing up, it was a challenge. I had constant meltdowns. Things would trigger me and set me off. I have sound sensitivity, touch sensitivity, and quite a bit of issues. And as I got older, I learned how to maintain those issues. But on top of that, I had cancer when I was 8, and the chemotherapy amplified the symptoms that I have. Before anyone says anything on that, chemo affects everybody differently, and this is how it affected me. My doctor told me so. So I went from being top of my class, ahead of my grade, processing things really fast to really slow. But it also gave me the ability to hyper-fixate on certain things, which makes me very good at learning things. A few years ago, for about 6 to 7 years, I had a very good job that paid 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. I made pretty good money on that, managing sales and inventory. I left that job, started my own business doing renderings, but after the COVID lockdowns, I had to close that business. Now I make content, and with what I have has allowed me to hyperfixate on making content and becoming good at it. I've been on YouTube for 11 years, and I've spent that 11 years learning different tactics and different ways of editing to better entertain my viewers. It also allowed me to hyperfixate on my family history, learn as much as I can about it, and share it with everybody. So while, yes, it has caused issues growing up of how we deal with what I have, and I still struggle with some things. I was able to work a 40-hour job. I was able to start my own business. I'm able to make content, entertain folks. I'm able to defend this family legacy. I'm able to be creative. It helps me be really good at numbers and music. I'm going to share something with y'all that this may or may not work for you if you have Asperger. Doesn't work for everybody, but when I was a kid, my doctor, Dr. White in Florida, suggested I try these, St. John worts. And whenever I feel an episode coming on, whenever any of the symptoms hit me, I take 1 or 2 of these and they calm me down. And I wish I knew about these sooner than when it was introduced to me, because it was when I was a teenager it was introduced to me. But if I had those when I was a little kid, if we knew that it worked as good as it does for me, a lot of the issues I had could have been prevented. But autism isn't just issues, they come with superpowers, if you want to call them that. I'm able to do a lot of good and cool things with the way that I am, and I want to change a thing about it. I will say the Florida school systems don't do jack diddly squat for kids with autism, or at least they didn't when I was in school. In fact, they did everything they could to alienate us and try to get us out of the school system. So maybe we should look at that and fixing that issue. Because kids with autism deserve to learn just as much as anybody else. Anyways, if you guys want to see my autistic butt, I've been making content on YouTube. I make a lot of content on YouTube, and I love to see you there.